Welcome to Growing Spaces. My name is Shelby, and today I'm going to take you on a virtual tour of all 6 sizes of our Growing Dome greenhouse kits. We manufacture these kits right here in Pagosa Springs, Colorado. They're made to order and can be customized to your exact climate and growing needs. The geodesic shape is inherently very strong and wind resistant, so without further ado, let me show you what we offer. Here we have our 15-foot growing dome. All of our growing domes feature a premium 5-wall polycarbonate, which has an R value of approximately 2.8 and provides 65% light transmission, which plants really enjoy. You can also see our automated venting panels, which operate using a temperature-sensitive piston, which I'll explain a little bit more about when we head inside. And you can also see our snow shed entryway, which bumps out from the structure. That way we're not impeding too much on your growing space. Besides those features, our 15-foot growing dome comes standard with 3 total venting panels, 2 lower and 1 upper. It also features a hybrid intake fan for additional ventilation. We also have a solar-powered water feature, as well as a solar-powered undersoil fan. You also have some options for customization, so if you'd like to add an additional vent, we can add an additional upper one for you. We can also add additional intake fans, and we can also swap out the solar components for electric components if you're going to be on the grid. Now that I've gone over the basics and the upgrades available, I'm going to let you guys head on inside so you can see for yourself. So the 15 feet is the diameter of this growing dome. It's about 175 square feet and is about 9 feet 5 inches high at the center. This dome is great for those that live in an area with a small backyard, or you're just looking to feed a small number of people. You can see we still have plenty of growing space despite the limited square footage. When it comes to our venting panels, these open and close around 65 degrees Fahrenheit. So this one's in the sun, it's already open. The one off to the side here is not in the sun, so it's not open yet. All of our growing domes do feature an above-ground pond, which is situated on the north wall and acts as the main source of thermal mass within the greenhouse, allowing it to be a true year-round growing environment. We also have our reflective insulation on the north wall, which partners with the thermal mass of the above-ground pond, as well as all of the other features that I mentioned to keep your garden thriving all year long. Our 18-foot growing dome features all of the same standard components as well as upgrades as the 15-foot growing dome does. It just gives you a little bit extra growing space with that extra 3 feet in diameter, as well as a little bit of extra vertical height. Let's head on inside and see what we've got growing in here. As you can see, we have plenty of growing space in this smaller greenhouse. We have 18 feet in diameter, which gives us about 255 square feet of floor space to work with. And the center point is about 10 feet 8 inches high, which allows us to utilize this trellis, which our tomatoes will end up vining over. It's also great for peas and beans and cucumbers and lots of other things. This dome also comes with all of our standard 7 features, which is the dome shape itself, the premium 5-wall polycarbonate, the automated ventilation systems, thermal mass in the form of this above-ground pond, reflective insulation on the north wall, an undersoil ventilation system, as well as an all-weather wood insulated foundation wall. Our hybrid solar fan comes with its own solar panel and will operate when the sun is shining until it drops below about 14 volts. At that point, the fan will shut off and you have the opportunity to plug it into electricity. It also comes with its own thermostat. Here we have our 22-foot growing dome. This is the original size that everything else was based off of. This size of growing dome is great for those that may be a little bit more limited on space, but still want the opportunity to grow trees, as well as have plenty of growing room and a little area to hang out. This growing dome comes standard with 4 venting panels, which are automatic with a temperature-sensitive piston. There's 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top. There's also a hybrid intake fan for additional airflow, a solar-powered water feature, and a solar-powered undersoil system. When it comes to options for this size of growing dome, you can add additional intake fans, you can add an additional lower vent, you can also upgrade the solar-powered components to electric if you desire, and you can add a misting system. Let's head on inside. With 22 feet in diameter, we have about 380 square feet to work with, and we also have a center point of 10 feet 10 inches high here in the dome. As you can see, we have a fig tree in here, and we've also utilized a keyhole design with our raised beds, which will make it easier for us to harvest these figs when it's time, as well as reach some of our other plants that might be a little bit harder to get to. Even with all of this, we still have an area designated for hanging out and a little seating space for us to enjoy. This is our electric fan. As you can see, it's a bit more powerful than the hybrid fan is. And this is a great option for those that live in a really hot climate and need that extra CFM for airflow. It's a good idea to grow things in front of this fan that benefit from extra air movement. So you could do things like squash, like we have here. Cucumbers are another good option. Tomatoes do great. Or you can opt for root crops, as we've done here. I've got some carrots that are just about ready. Our 26-foot growing dome has historically been our best seller. It provides you plenty of growing space, as well as gives you an area where you can hang out and enjoy all of your hard work. Our 26-foot growing dome comes standard with 4 venting panels, 2 lower and 2 on the top, as well as a hybrid intake fan, and a solar water feature, and a solar undersoil system. When it comes to options for this size of growing dome, you can add an additional lower vent for passive ventilation. You can add additional intake fans for active ventilation. Along those same lines, you could swap out your upper vents for a solar-powered attic fan. You could swap all of those standard solar components for electric if you desire, and you could add a misting system. Let's go ahead and head out inside. With 26 feet in diameter, this growing dome gives us about 530 square feet to work with, as well as a center height of 12 feet 7 inches. As you can see, this is a great size if you want to grow any type of trees. Here we have a fig tree that's about 15 years old. And it smells so wonderful in here. We have a lemon tree that has just finished blooming, as well as plenty of herbs. And if you'd like to come and see for yourself or smell for yourself, we do offer in-person tours here in Pagosa Springs, Colorado, so you can always call us or send us an email to schedule yours. Here we have our 33-foot growing dome. This growing dome is one of our larger sizes, and as you can see, we're working on installing some exterior raised garden beds. So you're not just limited to what you can grow inside, you can also use the space around the outside of the greenhouse. This dome does come standard with one doorway, 2 electric intake fans, 1 electric exhaust fan, a pollinator window, an electric water feature, as well as an electric undersoil system. If you desire to be off-grid, you can upgrade all of those components to solar if you'd like. You can also add fans onesie-twosie for some extra ventilation. You can add a misting system for a little bit of cooling power. And you can also add an extra water feature, or you can add an extra pollinator window. Let's head on inside and see what we've got going on. With 33 feet in diameter, we have about 855 square feet to work with. As you can see, we have plenty of vertical space in this dome. We have our grapevine that will eventually make a little tunnel here. We also have these trellises to maximize the vertical space, which is 15 feet 7 inches high at the center point. We've also added some unique finishes in this growing dome. As you can see, we've featured a paved stone floor, just to show you some of the options that you can do. And we also have our galvanized raised beds, which can be added to any growing dome kit and have customizations available. The pond in every growing dome is like the power bank of the whole system. It absorbs the heat of the sun during the day and slowly releases that heat at night. So the ponds change size and shape as we get bigger in growing dome size. Here in the 33, we have a rounded pond, and that helps to withstand the weight of the water that's within this pond. This is our solar-powered fan that comes as the solar upgrade for the 33 and 42-foot growing domes. It can also be added as a standalone fan to those sizes as well. It does come with its own solar panel, as well as a thermostat, and it will only operate when the sun is shining, so just keep that in mind if you're thinking about doing the solar upgrades. Our 42-foot growing dome is the largest size of greenhouse that we offer and is often used by schools and nonprofits because there's enough room in here to feed a community. This growing dome does have 2 doors standard. It's the only size that has that. And it also features 3 electric intake fans, electric exhaust fans, an electric water feature, an electric undersoil system, as well as 2 pollinator windows. When it comes to options, you can upgrade all of those components to solar if you wish. You can also add additional fans, whether that be solar or electric, as well as additional pollinator windows, and you can add an additional door if you'd like. You can also include a misting system in your kit if you live in a very hot, dry climate. Let's head on inside and see what we've got growing in here. As I mentioned, there's lots of room in here to grow, about 1,300 square feet to be exact, and we have 16 feet 6 inches at our center point. That means that you have not only lots of square footage to work with, but lots of vertical space to work with as well. And people have done all kinds of unique designs when it comes to this size of growing dome, which we're going to show you here. Thank you so much for coming on a tour with me today. If you'd like to see any of these greenhouses in person, we do offer tours, so you could call us to schedule, or I'll have a link for you in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and let us know how we can help you turn your dream garden into a reality.